experience through yoga during one's life. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshuntamena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Vishaya Bhadare Shri Bhaktivedanta Swami. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Ram Ram. Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Vishaya. Did this one, so it was one who at the time of death fixes his life hair between the eyebrows and by the strength of yoga with an undeviating mind engages himself in the supreme body of devotion will certainly attain to the supreme personality. No. Okay. Man, I'm just staring at the screen. No one is there or what? Is it a very static session like this? Oh my God. This is the deadest, the group which I've never seen, which is so dead. Oh, Dilip Prabhu, Dina Shrestha Mataji, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Ah, guys, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Nice. It's no harm to see people. Nice. You can multitask. What's the problem, man? It's you don't have to be perfect in the screen. You're not going to be auditioning for some media or something. You need to be looking beautiful. So, oh, what a family! Rama Priya Mataji, husband, wife there. Check that out. Now that's ideal family, man. Everyone is single here. So, good. Nice to see. Thank you. Thank you. So don't switch off though. Just keep it like that. It's like, so, thank you. Okay, I've given my attendance. Switch it off. Holy God. Yeah, see, generally, when you talk with your family and all that, how do you guys talk? Do you talk with your phone switched like video camera or audio? I generally just do audio, because my dad questions everything and anything what he sees inside the screen. So I pretty much just switch off the phone and speak. And if you ask why you're not switching on the camera, I will say, no, I'm somewhere else doing something. If not, you'll be interrogating. Why are you standing here? Why do you look like this? All that stuff. So generally, I don't switch on, but it's good between us. And we're not going to question each other, how we look and how we shouldn't look. So, but it's nice, while the thing is, we just get to, well, nowadays, after COVID, we are seeing each other a lot over the weekend anyhow. Sometimes it's going beyond the normal programs, but it's good to just keep it easy and we dial in Zoom, see each other. So today, you may wonder what is my role today, right? So I just thought, I'll come a surprise visit. Yamuneshwari was scheduled to do a talk, but actually my parents are coming in 2 days' time. So technically she should be doing a lot of stuff to keep the house in order. I'm also doing my bit, but she has a bit more pending stuff. So I told her, please do your bit. I will cover you. So that's why I'm here. Because the whole day morning she was cooking and doing everything. So I was at work, so I did a bit of my stuff. So I thought I'll cover so that she can cover some stuff in the house. So today, right, we actually, today, like she was saying, there's a lot of stuff for the day, isn't it? You got today's Guru Purnima, number 1. And then, wow, Dilip, bro, you feel sleepy? I'm not even started yet. Oh my God, this is one of the biggest problems I have, you see. When I start talking, even the guy who is awake, they'll sleep straight flat. But when Yamunesh speaks, it's opposite. This is the truth. I've seen for years. Whoever's asleep, wake up. But it's good actually. I'm going to make you at least fall asleep soon today. But yeah, today is Guru Purnima. And what else? Sanatana Goswami's disappearance day or appearance day? Disappearance day, maybe. I think disappearance. Oh, obviously Purushottam month is coming in, I think, in another 1 week or something. I think 16th or 15th July. And what else we got? We got Chaturmasya started today. Today is the first day of Chaturmasya, which means, like, generally, whoever follows Chaturmasya, we get to do different types of fasting. So today, from today for the next 1 month, we fast from spinach. So this is for people who don't like spinach. It's a very good day. You can just say that I fast from Chaturmasya. Okay. But this whole month we don't take spinach. And then the second month I think is yogurt. Third month milk. Fourth month urad dal. I think something in the sequence.
Is it only spinach or all leafy vegetables?
No, generally, they just say spinach. We don't, yeah, I mean, like, it depends on your level, but it's generally spinach. We don't go into all greeny vegetable, I did check on that. Many devotees are just spinach. Not like all greeny leafy, which is like coriander, mint, all that stuff. So we keep it to spinach, to my understanding. That's what we've been doing for a while. And then milk. No, yogurt, I don't know, something like that. Yogurt and then milk. But in that, there is a little variation. When it comes to yogurt, you can have buttermilk actually, not the yogurt as such. When it comes to milk, you can have sweet, like could be rubbery, peda, sandesh, like that, but not actual milk. Okay. Yes, devotees are smart. Who said devotees are dull? They can bend the rules. Then urad dal is urad dal anyway. You can't take any form. Could be dosa batter, whatever. You can't do it. And also, obviously, no non-veg. People who eat non-veg, right? It's highly not recommended during Damodar month. Anyway, when that time comes, you will. I'm sure most of you know, but just saying the 4 month. So today, like, it's a pretty auspicious day in all sense. There's a lot of great occasion to take inspiration from. But I was thinking some stuff, you see, and I thought I'll come and release it out today. I don't come for free, I just come for downloading something on people's head. I'll keep it as smooth as possible. Generally, I end up making it a bit fiery. So actually, there's another thing also. Bhakti Charu Maharaj's disappearance day celebration. It was going on last 3 days. I think today was the last day or yesterday. I think today was the last day. Yeah, today was the last day. They celebrated big time in Mayapur. So that was a great celebration of 3 days, which happened. This is the 3rd year Maharaj's disappearance. So it's a lot of things, this time. I think, it's from Chaturmasya going up till end of Damodar month itself is continuous festivals goes, on top of it, Radha Yatra, Snana Yatra, everything. So it's fun. So today, okay, so I just read a Bhagavad Gita sloka randomly there. Which was talking about, I think it kind of mapped to the subject which they were which they're throwing around anyhow. But it's about getting the love of God, prema bhakti. Obviously, it's a subject which none of us most probably have a clue about. So let's not too much worry about it. Okay, so prema bhakti, love of God, is of a next level. But one of the main things, Prabhupada here explains, if you see, he mentioned was, fixing one's mind, having an undeviated mind, engaging oneself, remembering in the Supreme Lord. So pretty much having an undeviated focus on about remembering the Lord, serving the Lord and his devotees along those lines, right? So this is the secret or the basic essence of one going anywhere high in their spiritual life, which is to the level of love of God. So today being Guru Purnima, this is the, what do you call, the greatest thing we can do for the pleasure of Prabhupada. I think like we all have heard many times, Prabhupada, what was it? I think some of Prabhupada's disciples asked Prabhupada, what is that thing which we can do to make you very happy? What we can do to please you? That was the question. So obviously, many devotees, Prabhupada disciples were thinking so many things. Distribute these many books, build a temple, open a temple. I don't know, all that stuff. Then Prabhupada said, simply that he said that that you achieving love of God by end of this life and going back to God, it is the best thing you can do, which can please me. So, and we all know it's obvious, right? Anything and everything we are doing is boiled to that only. How to love Krishna, how to love his devotees, and how to progress towards that. It's a very difficult subject, you see. This is a subject I love talking about. Loving Krishna, let's keep it aside, because we have not seen Krishna, and Krishna doesn't talk to us either. Like he doesn't come and tell us he doesn't like this, he likes this. He just smiles constantly, irrespective of what you give to him. But the toughest group of people whom it's difficult to love is who? Devotees. Oh my God, man, these people are demanding, isn't it? So to love devotees is not a joke. It's so difficult. Because the fact is this, devotees are living beings, they are just standing in front of you, and they demand, they criticize, they glorify, they reciprocate. They may not even reciprocate. They look at you, they look through you, they look over you, they do all that stuff. And you're like, obviously we write a purport on every single move which a devotee throws at us, right? Or reciprocates or reacts to us. And that leads to one thing to another, If it's on a positive note, great, one becomes very much, what do you call, elevated in the spiritual life. But if devotees end up seeing in a wrong note, in other words, end up being offensive, could be mentally or even even verbally. I'm not seen physical abusive thing yet. We never know. Anything is possible. But but at least on the top two levels we have. Then what happens is, obviously, they are out of the game, basically, Krishna consciously speaking. Krishna kind of seizes the account. So it's a bottom line. It's an absolute bottom line, for us to go anywhere near Krishna, right? To love devotees and be in union with them. And that's why we all know, here comes the final thing, when Prabhupada's final days, same question was asked to devotees, what can we do to please you? And Prabhupada gave this famous statement at the end of some of his final days was, you all cooperating is the best thing you can do, which can please me. So working cooperatively is a very top thing in the list, which Prabhupada gave as one of the final notes for his disciples and all of us. And the thing is this, we all know, you all are, everyone is philosophically, the philosophy. Who doesn't know the philosophy, right? Most of you have heard a lot from various devotees, Maharajas, you name it, from all walks of life. Philosophy is not short, there's no shortage of it. And it's good, we keep on hearing, obviously, because human beings, as a human being, we all are very prone to forget. We hear today and tomorrow we forget what was heard yesterday. So it's a natural thing. That's why we need to keep on doing constantly hearing as much as possible. But we also should do our level best to translate that into action. Now, the point is, I say this million times, nothing happens automatic. Okay. So most of us always constantly think, things happen, manifest automatically. Could be, we chant and all of a sudden one day we feel some love for Krishna. Or, we naturally start loving devotees. We feel it's an automatic process, which is true. It does have its impact. But if it's done unconsciously, nothing is automatic. It has to be done consciously, right? That's why Prabhupada said Krishna consciousness. And Prabhupada many times said also that you be conscious, then become Krishna conscious. So he uses all these phrases. So that's why it's very important for us. And the first things first is learning the art of being with devotees. Kind of serving together. Now, one of the major things we get to see is, within, I'm very good at poking people's weak points. So I just have fun with that. If I know someone has some weak point here, and I just like poking on that. Keep poking until that guy gets angry and shouts at me, And I'm like, brilliant. This is what I was waiting for. So I just love playing that game. So obviously that ends up being offensive also. That's a different story anyhow. But at least, just to find out, is that really a weak point? So what happens is, most of the time, okay, I would say, you would have heard me a million times, whenever I go to some gatherings here and there, I just get to always see a group of people hanging together, that could be across circles, okay? When I say circle, I'm sure most of you are East London, so circle, right? Each circle, a bunch of devotees from a similar location, we join together and do service. So what happens, it could be language based. Okay, this is a very common thing. I just see. Could be, could be Hindi, could be Bengali, could be Telugu, or what else? Tamil people, whatever. Okay, since we are mostly Indians here, I'm just saying that. So what happens is, let's say one Telugu devotee, Bengali devotee, Hindi devotee, you name whichever devotee. I don't need to say because you all know that story. One devotee hosts one program. Okay. This devotee hosts a program, and you will see, surprisingly, what happens? Someone goes off mute. Okay. What happens is, same language people across all circles are in one place, man. Okay. So if you see, like, let's say Bengali, all Bengalis, it could be in different location of the city. They are there. It could be Telugu guys. All the Telugu from across the circle are there. If you see, I don't know, Hindi, same thing, I'm talking majority here, okay? I'm not saying it's 100%. I'm just going by majority. Majority of them are the same group of people, same language. Now, so obviously I go to that program and I'll see, here you go. So it's a Telugu program today, or it's a Hindi program today. Or maybe it's Tamil, not many people though. So I've not seen many Tamil gang together. And what else? Bengalis, let's not discuss Bengalis. Okay, so they are like full-blown, just Bengalis only. So I always kind of say that. And what happens is, this is where the fun starts. When I start poking them on this, people, naturally devotees, they hear once, twice, thrice, 4 times, the 5th time, Prabhu, why are you dividing us? Why you think, we are this group only? We are not, why you are creating a separate committees or groups or, groupism within? Right? They just throw the question. And you could see they are a little bit tensed there. I say, oh, good. It's getting spicy now. So I'll say then, okay, no, man, I'm not saying you are grouped. I'm not saying you are, I'm not saying that, that this is the groupism following here. You just turn around and see the hall. You tell me who is created the group, and then I say, who is the majority here? Tell me. Okay, all the same language. I think that's what I said. I'm not saying that you are creating a movement. It just naturally seems like you guys are hanging around, That too across circle after circle, what happened? Let's go, if I go to a Telugu program, Hindi guys are dead or what? Why are they? I can't see anyone there. Or if you go to Hindi program, why can't you see other guys? No South Indians here, or you go to Bengali. Let's not even discuss. There are no human beings other than Bengalis only, right? So I was just I just throw this point, saying, why? What's the secret here? Like, do you guys create a secret movement of Telugu Society of Krishna Consciousness, or Hindi Society of Krishna Consciousness, or is it International Society? Or okay, anyway, we are an Indian Society of Krishna Consciousness. There's no international people here anyway. But even within Indian society, there are so many sub-societies, within here. So what happens, devotees get a bit heated up, thinking like, this Prabhuji is cornering us in making us look more, language specific groups, societies, But, the point was, one is people don't realize, knowingly or unknowingly, they are creating a group, and those groups are just going around like a satellite together, whichever program they do. Okay. Now, all birds of the same feather flock together story. Now the question is, okay, what's the big deal? You may think, so what's the big deal, bro? What's the problem? We speak same language, we just hang around. What's the problem? They're saying there's no problem. There's no problem of hanging around and doing stuff together. But the question comes here. In the Bhagavad Gita you read, or the objective which you are trying to achieve is, to what extent I want to identify myself to these things, right? Now, it's all about practice, right? The more I'm going to identify myself that I am, Tamil, I am Telugu, I am Hindi, I am Bengali, and all I'm going to do is just create a bunch of people around me on the same language. And this is the bunch of people I move along with. Then what happens is, you are conditioned, we are already conditioned from birth, that I am a Gujarati born in this, this is my favorite food, this is blah, 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 it's like, it's there, it's already, because I'm born, so obviously that's there. We cannot erase that. But on top of it, I'm putting an extraneous effort. Doing what? Searching for these people and associating with only these kind of people. But are we a Gujarati? Am I a Telugu guy? Am I a Bengali? Or what am I? What do you think? What am I?
I'm a soul.
I'm a soul, then something more, keep digging.
I'm a soul dedicated to the service of Krishna. Part and parcel of Krishna.
What are these, what Mahaprabhu calls these people as, or Prabhupada calls these people as? People who are dedicated to Krishna and all that. Who are those people?
Bhaktas.
Bhaktas, okay, devotees, right? So that's what Mahaprabhu said. What is that famous sloka? I'm very bad in this. Another? What is that? Das Anudas, one sloka is there, right? Gopi Bhakta Pada Kamalayo, Das. Around that line. You have heard this before, right? No? Hope so. Anyhow, what Mahaprabhu is saying is, I am not a sannyasi, I am not a Sudra, I am not a Brahmana, I am not a Brahmachari. You name, he is none of those four varnas, none of those four ashramas he belongs to. He is a devotee of a devotee of a devotee of a gopi, right? That's what he says. I'm none of these business. I have nothing to do any of this business. These are just my duties, but that's not me. So what happens is, naturally, Mahaprabhu, obviously he's God, okay, that's a different story. But I'm just saying, he behaves, acts, speaks in that mood, as a devotee. So similarly, if I myself, I'm anyway born conditioned in a certain body, mindset, consciousness, you name it, okay, whatever it could be. But on top of it, I'm spending all my efforts kind of clinging to that identity, and I'm doing everything in connection to that only. Mingling with the same type of people, same language of people, same thought of people, same belief, you name it, right? So what are the chances you're going to behave like a devotee? right? A devotee is someone who doesn't identify himself as Indian, Telugu, Hindi, Tamil, English, whatever. He identifies himself as a devotee of the Lord, and which means anyone who is a devotee of the Lord, I'm gonna be doing my level best to associate, serve with them, be friends with them, and serve together, right? But for that to happen, I need to extraneously put efforts to not identify and move along with people based on color, caste, creed, and name, language, and all that. But knowingly or unknowingly, we are. That's what we do. I think I just slipped my hand. There was yeah, in one of the meetings, I was, this temple meeting somewhere, one of the GBC, like one senior devotee, right? He was saying, the conversation was coming along that actually, if you remember, the Russia-Ukraine war is still going on anyway, but it came to a stage, it was even infiltrating into devotees communities, where Russian devotees and Ukraine devotees themselves were having some form of disagreements, just, that politics was infiltrating, it was kind of hitting in devotees' heads. So it was having an impact even to that extent. So what happened was within the meeting, they were discussing that how nationalism, racism is even coming within devotee communities. And it's very, and you could see that maybe, if you go along to an international community like Mayapur, Vrindavan, I don't know, you go to some places, you may feel, like, man, I am getting priority because I am this, or I'm not getting a priority because of this. You could be on either side, right? We don't know. But devotees tend to have that feeling, and especially during this war, it became more prominent. We're saying this racism and all that, but Prabhupada said we are not this body, we are spirit soul, we shouldn't be kind of classifying, behaving, treating each other in this way and stuff like that. Then this one senior devotee raised actually a very valid point. He said that, okay, hold on all these conversations. We all appreciate this point, but tell me, within the ISKCON community, you think we are not groupism? We don't have groupism within ISKCON. We all. He was saying that you just scan across this room itself. How many of us always cling to one bunch of devotees and never cling to the other bunch of devotees? Within in the room, he was saying, right? Now, can I call you a racist? Because you're just clinging with those bunch of devotees. You don't, and I'm not seeing you coming to me or having a conversation with me. It's a natural, even across the ISKCON communities. He was saying that unconsciously we do cling, with a bunch of people, right? There's no, there's no, like, an extraneous plan or a strategy to, to do this bit of, I want to be farming with this bunch of devotees, but it's a natural conscious thing, we kind of identify ourselves with the body and then we go along that lines. So he was saying this, Prabhu was saying that, it is something so natural within the system of devotees. It does come across being racist or whatever, sometimes within the movement, if you get to see. But he was saying that this is something which is for all of us to work on. It's not just that selected people who are having issues. So that's why it's a very common thing. It's a very common thing where we across I'm talking within the East London here, it's very common, like, like someone is saying, I'm international. Yeah, so we are, yeah, you're not from India, we are not international either. So the topic is we are a devotee of the Lord. So the point is, the current state of our practice is we are clinging a lot towards this bunch of chosen people. And the reason I bring this so strongly is because we, by naturally reinforcing this conditioned thought process, which is, I am this, I am that, I am not this, I am not that, I'm a female, I'm a male, I am Indian. I am not an Telugu or whatever, right? We keep having this thought process. Then naturally, we actually start behaving like that. We don't behave like devotees, basically. We behave like whatever you identify with, right? So it's important what's your identity. That's my point. I'm just boiling down to the point here. So if my identity is a devotee, then naturally there's no clash of any type. You know, it could be whatever, could be the proportion of people coming in, because you naturally gel, work with someone. The facts are true, which is if someone is coming from different culture, they may have a different food habits, they may have a different speaking habits, they may have a different way of communication, they may come from a totally different culture. That's all true, right? We can't deny that. Yeah, some people could be more what do you call, may not be more disciplined because that's the culture they come from. They're very, very natural in the way they do stuff. Some people come from a culture where they're very disciplined. Now, it doesn't mean this guy is primitive and this guy is advanced. It's nothing like that. It's just the culture they come from like that. We just need to respect, acknowledge, and accommodate that need, right? And we do that why? Because that person is a devotee of the Lord. I am trying to be a devotee of the Lord, and we both want to be serving together the Supreme Lord, right? So if I don't have that consciousness, then naturally we start to see differences and we start to keep different distance due to that, and that's called diplomacy. We nicely diplomatically keep a distance, and whenever we come, we become this Haribol devotees. Hare Krishna, Haribol Prabhu, hey, hey. And then we walk out, we don't give much of a care, but could be the same language, same bunch of devotee. What happens is we naturally end up, becoming very friendly, very helpful, and the other guy is actually in need of help. We are like not even looking at his face. So what happens is these things could end up becoming a bit of an unknowing offense. You end up doing stuff without your knowledge, which is not very congenial to our spiritual life. So once, I remember I read somewhere, Bhakti Maharaj, who is a black body sannyasi, he's not more on the planet. But this is very early days. He was a brahmachari then. Maharaj was a brahmachari. He was the Maharaj is like is a very senior disciple of Prabhupada, way many years before he was initiated, 1970s, early 70s. So basically, when Maharaj is in US, obviously he's an American by birth, even though his origin was in I forgot, Kenya somewhere, I forgot, somewhere in Africa. But basically, Maharaj was a civil rights movement fighter. He actually was part of the, I forgot the name. What's this African origin, American civil rights fighter? Malcolm, slipped my head.
Abraham Lincoln.
Nelson Mandela?
Nelson Mandela from South Africa.
Martin Luther King.
Martin Luther King, yes, that's the man. So Martin Luther King, he gave this freedom speech, right? Such a powerful orator, the most famous orator. He pretty much created a big revolution of all this, racist thingy. Now, Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj has personally seen him, fought with him in the sense he was part of that movement. Now, basically, that's how he started. Then he happened to come to Prabhupada's books. He became a full-time brahmachari. He became a sannyas, a guru. He's a big-time sannyasi. But when he was a brahmachari, then it was majority of them were Western, when I say Western, white-bodied sannyasi, not sannyasis, brahmacharis in ISKCON and especially in US. And Maharaj then, his name was Ganesham Prabhu then, before sannyas. So he was a black body. So what happened was, he was living in a temple. He always felt that he was kept at the back foot. He wasn't given the opportunity he deserves, and he just had this feeling and experience, which made him feel like, I'm seeing within this temple that I'm not given that, right? Which all the other new bhaktas who are coming in are getting. So one day Prabhupada, he went to Prabhupada. When he happened to meet Prabhupada in another temple, he went there and he told Prabhupada, this I'm seeing these differences within your ISKCON movement, and I live in this temple and I am being kind of differentiated for my color. Then Prabhupada looked at him, thought for a while, and Maharaj said that Prabhupada straight away said that if you identify yourself with your body, then all you will see the difference. But if you identify yourself as a spirit soul servant of Krishna, you will go above the difference. So he was saying, if you want to see change, you be the change. Technically, he said that. Okay, you go beyond the body, the rest will follow you. You be in the body, the rest will follow you. Okay, so then this like blew Maharaj's head. I was like, the whole perception changed. And this is the Maharaj. He made then it's the rest of his history. He became such a fired up, big time sannyasi that he used to wake up every day 2 o'clock in the morning. He will the whole day he eats only one time. But please don't copy him. Okay, none of us can do, and don't screw up your life by that. Okay, so I'm just saying this, how Maharaj took that statement as his life and he really lived that. Okay, so he used to eat only once a day, and that too he eats only uncooked raw vegetables. Okay, and he was chanting 20 rounds every day until his final life breath. Basically, he left this world with cancer the last few months, and even those days he was chanting 20 rounds. So this Maharaj, he is the one who distributed hundreds and thousands of books in Russia and all the communist countries when there was an iron curtain, they say, right? No one can enter inside the world. But he was the one who went in and did the whole range of book distribution in all big universities and colleges. And he was the one who distributed, he had a big team, Radha Damodar Sankirtan Party. He was one of the main person those days. Tamal Krishna Maharaj is the head of it. Within the US, he was one of the team who distributed so many books across all the universities in the US. And when I say book distribution, you know what type of book distribution he was doing? He was distributing books without a book. He was that disciple who Prabhupada has not even written Bhakti Srimad Bhagavatam. He has written maybe 3 or 4 cantos or something. Okay. So he used to go and see all these people in universities, all the professors and all this like intelligent people in various educational institutes. He will go and place standing orders. He will go and he will basically show some bunch of paper printouts or whatever, convince the professors and all those people who make decisions, and he will make them buy a standing order. He'll get the money, but the book is not delivered. It will be delivered after a few months once it's written and printed. And like that, he distributed hundreds and thousands. And that standing order money was which is what fed into the actual book printing. And that Prabhupada said that this is what inspires me to get up every day in the middle of the night and do the translation, because my disciples are going and creating standing orders. So I have to print it as soon as possible so it can be distributed. So we have books in the hand, we can't even figure it out how to distribute. But here Maharaj, right, he was not distributing one small book, 2 small books. Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita, like set of the set, standing orders without even showing a book. And there are so many stories. Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj, he was humongously way beyond. He was no one could beat him to the extent he did. I'll tell you, maybe I don't know if you have heard. I'll just tell you one, which is just coming top of my head now. Once what happened in Russia. I'm all giving an example. Okay, the reason I'm saying all this is what Prabhupada said, and this is what he exemplified, and this is what he was able to accomplish, right? And that's an actual disciple who genuinely, follows his guru. Like, he could have gone, he had this conversation. He could have gone after that. Prabhupada doesn't understand my point, you see. I mean, like, what's the problem for him? He's an acharya, I'm a normal guy. He doesn't seem to support my point. He is maybe one, all this happens. Including me, I've heard many times devotees tell me, like, if I go and tell them, you know what, why are you being so caught up? Why can't you just forgive and work with him? Or maybe why can't you just have a conversation and just see he's right? Maybe you are wrong, who knows? Or maybe just let's say he's wrong, you're right, just forget it and move on. If I bring any of these points, I've heard many devotees come and tell me, Prabhu, you just always support this guy. You always take one-sided. You never ever even listen to what I've said. You have never even supported what I told. Right? Many devotees say this. And imagine if, why not Ganesham Prabhu could have done that to Prabhupada? Could have done it, right? And what would have happened? He would have been Ganesham Prabhu for the next century of his whole life. But what he did, he didn't sit and have that conversation with Prabhupada, he just took it, is saying, yes, I am identifying with my body and color and all that. Hence the reason it is, I will follow what you're saying, Prabhupada, which is, I am a servant of the Lord, I will go over this. And he proved it by all these magical things he did. So this story I'll tell you, it's very inspiring. So this is in Russia. Again, he is in Russia, you know KGB, all these people, right? You would have read somewhere, these KGBs are the bunch of people who were pretty much totally against Hare Krishna, against all theistic organizations, and Hare Krishnas were one among them. So what used to happen is, obviously they were not wearing dhoti, kurta, tilak and all, right? They were putting pant, shirt, look like a normal person. So this Bhaktivedanta Maharaj they used to have these books in the hand in the middle of the street and just pretty much like, if, for example, if you go in the east time, especially, you go somewhere, if you're a young guy, my brother-in-law came here. Sorry, what do you call him? My brother-in-law's son is called nephew or niece or some, what is that? Nephew? Brother-in-law's son is nephew, maybe. I don't know. So this person, my brother-in-law's son, okay, he came here, right? I mean, like he's a young 17, 18, 19 or whatever. And he was walking in the street and this another black guy came in, just like that. He's just standing there. And this black guy came and like tapped on him and said, I have this drug. Do you want to buy? He was just like, no big conversations, okay? No big conversation, nothing shown outside, nothing exposed, okay? Because obviously it'll be caught by the police or the public or whatever. Just it's all happening like a handshake, hey, do you want this? He ran away from there. My nephew is like, this guy is crazy, And he came and told me, what kind of area are you living in, uncle? This is amazingly dodgy place. He say, yeah, man, exactly. This is where we live, So it's something like that. Bhaktivedanta Maharaj, in Russia, you can't distribute books like, stand in the street like this. You need to do like the drug thing, You need to just tap on the shoulder and you say, what, I have some books here, are you interested? And then, they just do under the hood here. So that's how we used to distribute. So what happened? These KGBs are very smart. They know these people, these religious people are going in, what do you call it? In like what's the term, they're kind of hiding and doing stuff like a spy, So what happened, this KGB guy, he was like one of those public walking around, and apparently Bhaktivedanta Maharaj obviously didn't realize this guy is a KGB. He went and tapped on him and said, do you want this? You have this. And this KGB guy said, oh yeah, I'm interested, show me, tell me more, Then Bhaktivedanta Maharaj got really excited. Wow, I found a customer here. And then he started explaining this and that. And this KGB heard the whole story. He asked, where do you have the books? Because the KGB is one of the main thing is they try to find from where the books are coming and the address, and they'll go and attack that place so that all the books are seized and they don't have any supply. That's how they catch locations. So he was hearing and all that. And this KGB guy asked Prabhu that Maharaj, like, I'm so interested. Can you take me to the place where the whole thing happens? I'm so interested. I want to come and see this. Then this is when Bhaktivedanta Maharaj, obviously being very experienced, he understood, okay, this guy is not normal. He's a KGB, Then immediately he said, yeah, and I'll show you. And then he started running behind. He started running, basically. He just turned around and started running. He knew this is KGB now. Then what happened was, obviously, KGB started running, and there are spies all over the place. All these 5 people are targeting Maharaj. So So Maharaj is actually he worked, and he is, Maharaj is one, he used to fight for the civil rights, and number one is a very good runner. So he is like really fast, so, for some reason he got trained or something. So Maharaj said, in that book, like he's very good in running. So no one can catch him. So he was running so fast that KGB guys were searching him. And Maharaj was running in such a way that, he will take sharp right, sharp left, sharp right, sharp left, so that, they can't find where he's going by the time they come in. So like this, he was taking sharp right, left, like that. And one particular area, what happened was, it was a dead end. He took a right and he went, all he could see is a dead end there. Then he thought, man, I'm caught, Then he turned left to see there was a door. There was a door saying something like some person, right? Some person's building with the office there. He just knocked the door, and then some guy came up. He said, and he just read the name on the top. He said, I have an appointment with this person right now. Okay, I want to come inside. Okay, and this person is like, okay, because he was saying with such an authority, he knew the name of the person. He actually found the name from the top of the house there. He said, okay, yeah, please come in. He went in, they closed the door, and by the time the KGB came, they couldn't find Maharaj. Okay, so he's in now. Okay, he's inside the building. So he's gone in, and this person, the secretary, took him all the way up. All the way up, he said, so-and-so, I don't know, whatever professor name it was. He said, this particular person has come to see you. Then Maharaj went, sat over there. Imagine, okay, no clue who is this guy. Okay, all he knows the name which was at the front of the building. He just sat there and started, he just entered the building to escape, basically. He entered in, he got the appointment, sat there, and that's it. He started talking about the books and all that, and he finished, distributed one book, standing order, and came out. Imagine. Okay. Like, this is like nuts, like this is, I'm just saying one. There are so many funny things like this he has done, which is like, it sounds funny, near-death experiences, and he didn't just escape, he went and distributed, and he comes out. So, I remember even another one, he just pops in my head again. So, like same like this, he went to another university, standing there, distributing thingy, and then obviously in any university, you can't just go and distribute. The way Maharaj distributes in universities, he'll just walk inside, and then he'll say, I know this guy, I want to go and talk to him. That's how he just goes there. No appointment, nothing. He doesn't know anyone in the building. He'll just go and figure it out and go and knock each one's door. So what happened, they found out in one university, he's pretty much trying to sell stuff. He said, you can't get out of the campus, So he said, okay, no, don't worry, I'm going off. Said, I just want to use the toilet. So he went to toilet. So Maharaj, like, he's deeply praying. See, again, this is like, so this is where, he went to the toilet, Maharaj is there, and he's praying, oh, I couldn't do this for Prabhupada. And he was like, sincerely, deeply, like, crushed, he couldn't do this in this building, in this university, which he was desperately looking for. And he was praying so hard, is there somehow I want to do something here. And he was just there in the toilet, right? Then during that time, another professor comes into the toilet. Okay. Comes to the toilet, and he's there, and just the next cubicle standing there. Okay, and then he said, and just try the conversation. Oh, by the way, I am coming from BBT. I'm an official, book ambassador or whatever term he had. I'm coming from BBT. I have these yoga books. So he started talking to the professor, and then he started conversing in the toilet. Okay. That guy is actually doing his business. Okay. And then Maharaj is standing there. And while the business is going on, and by the time he walked out, guess what happened? He distributed one standing order. And then he walked out saying, my business is finished. He's going to the next building. Imagine, okay, this is like nuts, isn't it? He's like, no one could stop him. No one could stop him to such an extent. He was the topmost book distributor in the whole Europe, UK. The whole continent. Then when Prabhupada got to hear the score, he was so happy. And this is the last visit Prabhupada did to UK before he went back and he left the world. So the last visit he came, everyone got to know in the continent that Prabhupada is visiting Manor, Bhaktivedanta Manor. So Bhaktivedanta Maharaj, he was in Europe, then all the way he packed the bags and he came over towards Manor. And Tamal Krishna Maharaj knows, okay, Ganesham Prabhu is here, you know. And Prabhupada, every single, when he was in Vrindavan going through so much challenges physically, the Tamal Krishna Maharaj was nearby, and whenever he gets a report from Ganesham Prabhu, that's he will keep all the letters away. Could be GBC, whatever biggest thing, he'll just throw all and he'll take that letter and read to Prabhupada. And Prabhupada always used to say, this score is what is giving me life, you know, and he always loves hearing Ganesham Prabhu's score. So what happens is when he went to Bhaktivedanta Manor, he went there and Ganesham Prabhu came and Tamal Krishna Maharaj saw Ganesham Prabhu, said, okay, this is the best thing he can give, you know, he can give to Prabhupada, you know. And Ganesham Prabhu walked into the room, paid his obeisances, dandavats, you know, and then Tamal Krishna Maharaj read the new score. And Prabhupada was like literally skin and bones there, obviously. And he was there so happy. And then, you know, he paid obeisances. Prabhupada touched his head, you know, like literally touched his head, hugged him. And he said, you know, you make me so, you give me so much pleasure. And you're such a book distributor doing great service. You'll go back to Godhead, you know. And Tamal, what do you call, Bhaktivedanta Maharaj was so happy, you know, and Prabhupada was so much pleased. So because a person like him, imagine what was his thought process, what changed, and where he ended up. Okay, this is the power of someone, I mean, like, who takes on the words and executes it rather than questioning and reasoning and finding excuses to say, oh no, Prabhu, you know, you support him, you know, you are always on his side, you know, Prabhu, you don't even consider my point, you know, all this cheap conversation, right? When you start doing all this cheap conversation, it is a recipe for failure, and you are basically wasting time here. You know, let's not even waste time. And generally, I don't even, you know, when someone opens this mouth, I'll say, yeah, actually, you know what? I think I'm on that person's side. Bye-bye. I'll walk up because I just don't have time for these people, because your brains are like, come on, man, you don't even have brains to think or what. So it's so fallen that, you know, you cannot even understand you are fallen, and you are sitting and bargaining for becoming, justifying whatever point is right. See, one is we get to, we unknowingly think and identify and talk about our own things, you know, based on my language, body, color, religion, or whatever. But that is natural. But if someone reminds you, like, you know what, man, stop, you're a devotee, you should not think like this. You know, why can't you just go above and beyond your whatever your condition is and be of service, be of working together and serve, you know, doesn't matter what's the difference. Then naturally, a person who is saying what he will do, like Bhaktivedanta Maharaj will say, oh, okay, oh, sorry, I forgot, I will go for that. But a guy who is crazy, what he will do? He will sit and argue, saying that, no, you didn't understand my point. No, you support this guy, you support that guy. So then those people have no hope. You say, okay, man, you stay there. I will talk to you later and bye-bye, right? So that's why don't ever make this useless mistake, right? Because you're talking about Prema Bhakti, Krishna Bhakti, you're talking about all this hi-fi funda stuff. And if all I'm going to do is soak and swim in an ocean of bodily identification, you know, based on language, color, and all that, 100%, there is no, you know, light at the end of the tunnel. It's all dark and dungeon only, right? You won't be happy, basically. How you can be happy? You're not going to happy, which means what? You're going to fight only. You know, because that's another thing. I've seen many of our devotees do all dodgy conversation, do so many political conversation, have this, you know, diplomatic fights. Like, man, what are you trying to achieve here? What? You want to become Hitler or what? You know, become one of those biggest guns in the community, but you're going to be a loser in front of the Lord's eye, right? You may win the battle, but you are a failure in Krishna's eye, right? Because, you know, you're pretty much hurting people around. So don't, you know, personally, don't waste your time. You know, I mean, like, when we do it without knowledge, I do it 100%. But when someone takes the rights or the energy, Krishna is giving that person the intelligence, you know, saying, go and tell this guy this. And once you hear something, put your head together and think for a second before you react in a funny way. Okay, so just think and say, okay, sorry, I think I didn't realize it, So because you need to understand, all of us have a one common goal, and that's why we are here, and that's why I talk to you, you talk to me, and we all are in one place. It's what? That we want to serve Krishna, we want to serve Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, we want to serve Srila Prabhupada. You should not forget that. So when we forget that and put my own agenda in the story, no one is going to listen to you. I mean, like, why? I mean, like, why someone has to listen to you? It doesn't make any sense. What, did you do anything for this guy? No one cares about us, right? No one cares about us. Like, they are insignificant. That's one very important point. Like when I say insignificant, it's another you have heard this before. When Prabhupada was in San Francisco, Tamal Krishna Maharaj was there. Tamal Krishna Maharaj was amazingly, obviously, is a powerful personality from the day one. Prabhupada knew him. That's why Tamal Krishna Maharaj was a right hand of Prabhupada from day one. But Prabhupada, for some apparent reason, he was there. Tamal Krishna Maharaj was there in not San Francisco, in Los Angeles. Actually, he was there, and I can't say the way Prabhupada said it, but it was something along these lines. Prabhupada was saying that, he was saying that, this Los Angeles has many houses, many towns and village and whatever he said. And then this United States have many states, many cities. And you got to go, the whole planet Earth has many countries, many cities. And then way above that, the whole material universe has many, many universes. And then above that, you can see that is the whole universe, which has many, many material universes with many, many bigger heads of Lord Brahma. And there are so many material universes floating with Lord Vishnu in each of them. And above that, you see again, Prabhupada is saying this is Tamal Krishna Maharaj. And then above that, he was saying, Prabhupada is saying, there's a material universe, just 1/3 of the size of it, and the remaining, 2/3 is the whole spiritual world. And in this spiritual world, you see there is smaller, many planets of Vaikuntha. Then above that is Ayodhya. Above that, he was saying Vrindavan, and then you have Goloka Vrindavan with Navadvip. So Prabhupada was lifting slowly, starting from Los Angeles, going way up to what do you call the place? Yeah, Vrindavan. And then Prabhupada said, but here there is Tamal Krishna Goswami thinking he's the most important person in a small town, in a small house in Los Angeles. Okay, so Tamal Krishna Maharaj was totally grounded, because when Prabhupada explained this, starting from the small house in Los Angeles, going all the way up to the spiritual world, Tamal Krishna Maharaj said, wow, this is so big. And then Prabhupada went all the way up and said, but Tamal Krishna Maharaj, who's sitting in the smallest house, in the smallest corner of this universe, in the smallest corner of the city, in the smallest house, in the smallest room in this building, thinking he's the most important person in the whole universe. And Tamal Krishna Maharaj was like, he felt straight Dandavat, saying, Prabhupada, please accept my humble obedience, sorry for the mistake. This is the truth, We all think we are so big, humongously big, and we just forget the context, actually, where we stand. And we all think people all around us should be rotating all around us, all around us only it will be rotating. So we are the center of the universe. So that's the point. It is like this only. Don't worry. We all think like this. It's natural for us. That's why we are in this world. But we shouldn't be so dumb that when someone is coming and reminding us, we are like, we shouldn't be like, still nothing going in the ears. No, I am the center of the universe, It doesn't work like that. If that is the case, man, you're missing the boat. See, this is the difference between Prabhupada disciples and us. Even Prabhupada disciples, like in these examples, you can see, I'm not saying that like that. I have no idea who are they. But Prabhupada's interaction kind of makes us understand, Prabhupada was seeing in them those center of the universe thought process. Could be Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj, could be Tamal Krishna Maharaj, Same with Jayapataka Maharaj, my Guru Maharaj also, he did the same thing, He was coming, I think it was in Toronto somewhere, like he got to know from one of another senior disciple of Prabhupada that, whenever you see Prabhupada, you need to ask questions, he'll be very happy. So my Guru Maharaj, he thought like, okay, I will do this. It's going to make him happy. Why not? So he used to ask constant questions whenever in Toronto he was there. Prabhupada was there and my Guru Maharaj was there then. So he was a normal young brahmachari, just there. So he was asking. Then one day, one thing led to another conversation, and then my Guru Maharaj then was telling to Prabhupada that, Prabhupada, I'm the most fallen soul. Please bless me. Then Prabhupada, he was walking. He stood, turned around, and said, "You are the most of nothing." Okay. Then he turned around and walked off. So my Guru Maharaj then he said, he tells even till today, and I just literally heard months ago in his lecture, that he was saying it's a human tendency that we want to be the most, we want to be the biggest, we want to be the best, we want to be the best even in the most fallen state. I am not the normal fallen. I am the best fallen soul. Okay. So that's why he was saying, I was so puffed up. I said, I am the most fallen, as if no one else is worse than me. So he was saying, I was so far, I was so much ego was there. I was thinking, even I'm the best in that. Right. And Prabhupada smashed me in that second, said, you are the not most of anything. You are such a useless guy. You cannot even be the best fallen soul. You are even worse in that also, So so I'm just saying, Prabhupada was able to catch and say stuff, but what happened? These disciples were not like sitting and contemplating, oh, Prabhupada didn't understand, oh, Prabhupada, you didn't know what I was talking, all that stuff. Rather, they just took it straight, moved on. To the extent these people are like, man, we all know these people are like beyond textbooks. They are such a big personalities. All these disciples of Prabhupada. Now, this is what happens when we take it on board. When we don't take it on board, what happens is we sit here, say that I am okay, the rest is not okay, So that's why it's really important. We are talking about Krishna Prem and all that story, but first things first, we need to stop getting glued and tied up with this conditioned thought process, which is I am this, I am that, and I will be clinging with this people, that people, these kind of things is not going to help anyone. Rather, we should always think I'm a devotee of the Lord, and doesn't matter what is the caste, color, creed. If that person is a very good devotee, we naturally work with them, learn from them, associate with them, invite them, develop friendship with them, love with them, and move on. Right? Could be your social event, could be a preaching event. We always have that devotee. If anyone is a very good devotee, we want that person in our life constantly. Doesn't matter is black, white, yellow, Hindi, English, Chinese, American. Doesn't make any difference, right? That's how it is. That's how it should be, right? But what happens is we kind of unknowingly, again, I'm saying, no one does it by plan. It's just a natural thing. We end up just clinging with this bunch of people who is of same color, language, and stuff. To such an extent, it doesn't help one to become spiritually more Krishna conscious. The reason being, the more I'm going to identify with me and my body and my conditioning by the same bunch of people, the chances are I'm not going to be devotional. I'm not going to be more working beyond the bodily thought process, right? So this is a super important. And I know this is very much unknowingly or knowingly, I have no clue, has it in the deep down in the system, just by seeing the response. That's what I was saying. I'll go back to the first point. When I see these devotees, I say, hey, here you go, you bunch of Telugu, you bunch of Bengali, you bunch of Tamil people, you guys having a program. And you can just by their response figure it out whether that guy is actually, in a spiritual thought process, they are together, or they are clinged in a material thought process. The person who is like getting tensed, thinking, oh, Prabhu, we are not Telugu. Why are you saying we are Telugu? Or, maybe I am not Hindi. Why are you saying we are Hindi? That by itself proves to say that they are actually identifying with that thought process, right? They're trying to negate the point, saying, no, we are not. But but whoever says no, we are not, and get tense, that to say that they are always clinging, thinking in that way. But I have spoken to another devotee, okay? Again, I'm not going to give any names. The other devotee, that person reacted in a very different way. So when I said, I just played the game, I just went, saw them in the temple, I said, hey, okay, so you guys are all together, huh? You Gujaratis, Tamil or whatever. I'm not saying that, but I just said, oh, you people are here. Why are you guys here today? And that person responded in such a way, it made me understand this person was not like people going language based. That person immediately responded, split second, with such a command. I don't belong to any language. I'm a devotee. So they came out with a split second, just like that, without thinking. Straight, they said, I'm not a devotee. I'm not part of this Gujarati, Tamil, whatever, Prabhu. I'm a devotee. I'm here to serve Krishna and devotees. That's all. That's it. Then I stopped the conversation. It was because it was so clear this person had the right state. No more conversation. Full stop. Move on. I said, Mataji, Prabhuji, Hare Krishna. Walk off. Now, I'm giving an example. Okay, a person who has the right state will have nothing to be bothered or they won't be hurt in any way. Say, no, sorry, Prabhu, I didn't think anything. I'm here to serve Krishna and devotees. That's why I'm here. But the guy who has confusion, khichdi in the head, will talk about, say, no, why are you saying I'm Telugu? We are not Telugu people. They sit and do debate there. You see? So this is to say that there is something cooking in the head. If you're not, then you'll be very clear. I'm not this, I am that. Naturally, we all are part of some identity. But if you are clear of what's your identity, you'll clearly say, no, I'm a devotee. This is my service. I'm here. This has nothing to do with anything else, right? So now I'm sure now going forward, whenever I bring this point, everyone will say this now, because whoever heard this will do that, right? But don't worry, I have a way to cross question and stump you also. Don't worry. But my point is, the point is that it's with you, right? It's with all of us to really understand where we belong, what is that you want to identify with. And it is an extraneous effort each of us need to put. Nothing comes automatic. It's in our hands that we need to constantly, just like Ganesham Prabhu did, just like Tamal Krishna Maharaj did, just like Jayapatak Maharaj did, just like many disciples of Prabhupada did, which is not documented and I don't know. So I know what I documented, right? All these personalities, they went above and beyond what was in the tin, which is what was they representing in the body. They were going above and beyond because Prabhupada said it, right? And they put an effort for it. Don't think as soon as Prabhupada said, immediately they saw some wings is coming up and they become elevated. No, they worked against their conditioning and they came above and beyond. So it's so important. I'm not saying it's easy. It is going to be painful. It is going to be stressful. It may cause a lot of friction. It may cause a lot of issues, maybe. I'm talking internally in your head. But it's for us to seek help if need be, but keep clinging to this point, which is I'm devotee of Krishna, I'm servant of the Lord, and I need to know how to behave with devotees, how to relate with devotees, irrespective of what's the caste, color, creed. I need to be taking association of devotees who are good devotees. I don't care what's the language, which community, which cling they belong to, right? So it should be more open and honest so we all can serve together, Now we are talking about preaching to the people outside Indian origin. Now imagine if I'm so clinged with this basic within Indian body only, I'm so much attached, means where is the question of going above and beyond my Indian friends? You need to be far more open-minded to work with the people who are of different origin. And this is what we should be doing, because this is what Prabhupada wants, not just to go with a bunch of Indians, right? So it's for us to go above. When I say Indians, it's not just Indians, whoever is of same color, basically. We don't go above and beyond because we are so much conditioned thinking like this. It's so difficult. I'm talking including me. It's not easy, but this is the extra effort. This is what, see, my point is we need to put effort. That's my point. I'm not saying we reach the end goal. I have not reached the goal, and it may take years or lifetime. I don't know, but we need to put the effort that we need to detach ourselves as much as possible with our conditioning and need to push out. Then only you can go above and beyond our outside Indian origin. We can talk to them, we can relate with them, we can accommodate their needs, we can accommodate their culture, their thought process, their language. And then we can present Krishna consciousness and then maybe learn from them. All these things can happen if I can only go beyond this circuit. But if I'm just going to be so kind of double circuit, triple circuited with this body and the people around, we're not going to then do what our acharyas want, right? And what's the end result? The end result is we're going to be more sad most of the time because, this whole thing is the whole thing which we all got, from starting from mind to the body. It's all very, what is all contaminated, right? It's all miserable only. It's always very conditioned. So we are always in a miserable state. And people are, when we move around with the same bunch of people, it's even more miserable. And that's why there is no happiness in devotees' relationships, is it? So we need to go beyond, talk, one is to go beyond our conditioning and talk to the people all over the world. World means like other origin, and try to inspire them also. But that's all way beyond our limits now. Let's at least within the Indian community, at least don't put lines. Go above and beyond. Then it's natural for us to go beyond the Indian community. Within Indian community only, if I'm going to go in box, nothing, it's just that you are limiting yourself. We all are limiting our own self-belief and confidence, and naturally we won't grow. So this is spiritually I'm talking. So it's so important. This is so vital, loving Krishna concept is great, provided we learn how to love devotees without, and we all know, well, just to add to the point, I think in Nectar of Devotion or Instruction, it's mentioned one of the offense is, this is for the gurus, obviously, not for, maybe for us, I don't know, but mainly for the serious devotees, gurus, they say, don't identify them with their body. In other words, an Indian guru is not greater than a Western guru, or the Western guru is not, a white body guru is not better than an Indian guru. It's mentioned in Nectar of Devotion or Instruction, I forgot. It's one of the offense to sit and discuss the guru's body and identify and discriminate him based on that. You see? So it's very dangerous stuff. It's like, we can't do that between our devotees also. We can't just sit and, I've heard many times, many devotees, right? Sit and do lots of conversation on this topic. Differentiate, I don't know, even say stuff, which is not right. Because of some language, some culture, some color, right? It's all written in the document. Sanatana Goswami is clearly mentioned, Arupa Goswami, I don't know, one of them wrote saying that you're doing mistake here, son. So we can't do those things. So that's why I'm saying it doesn't happen all of a sudden. We need to train ourselves inside the four wall. We need to train ourselves to not see each other, differentiate each other in the thought process. Then our dealings with devotees will not be in the same thought process. Then naturally within the society, within the community, then you are everywhere the same, right? You see everyone equal because they're all devotees of the Lord. Obviously, you associate with the one whom you get inspired with. You don't need to associate with people whom you're not inspired with, but you can always respect, serve anyone. But everyone is seen in an equal level, and you only go closer or further away based on their devotion to the Lord, not based on anything else, which doesn't make any common sense, right? So, friendship is based on how much one is a devotee of the Lord, not based on all the other bits and bobs, right? So again, it may not come naturally. It won't come naturally because we are not born devotees, but we need, my point, all, whatever I said, if you forgot, just understand this one thing. Just try to put efforts, that's all. You need to be conscious of it, number one, and try to put efforts is the number two, right? Being conscious is the vital thing. You know why? Because when someone says, tap your shoulder and say, Prabhu, come on, man, this is not right. Then if you're conscious, naturally say, oh, sorry, I forgot. I will not do it again. But if you're not conscious, someone taps the shoulder and say that, Prabhu, you cannot do this. Then you're like, no, you don't understand what I'm talking. You'll end up that kind of conversation, right? So it's important for us to be conscious so that when someone taps our shoulder, when Krishna is trying to send a message, I can grab it and I can change. Then once you're conscious, then naturally we put our efforts in that direction. Now, whether I achieve that thought process, whether I become very, spiritual, that's none of it is in our hand, only the Lord knows. But these two has to be there. I have to be conscious, I have to put efforts. But and that has to happen inside the house, outside the house. Not outside the house, you do, inside the house, you are discriminating like hell, everyone. So be very clear on this so that we all of us have a similar barometer of how we deal and respect each other as devotees. And we try to develop that closer relationship with each other in that sense, right? You serve the seniors, you become friends with peers, and you help the juniors. This is how the devotees circle work, right? So this is, it's not, there's no color, creed, caste, color here. It's all based on their devotion. You try to take benefit and serve each other. So in that way, what happens? You please the devotees. In that way, what happens? You please Krishna. Then naturally, all this Krishna Prema concept comes as a byproduct. Simple as, it's like, it just comes to you without even asking for it. Because anyway, even if you ask, Krishna won't give you anyway. But the point is, if you behave in a way which Krishna wants, naturally it gives. Like that's what Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur told someone. And we read this. Prabhupada used to say this. He used to say that don't go after seeing Krishna, but behave in a way Krishna wants to see you. I'm sure you would have heard this. This is a very famous quote. Okay. So this is the exact thing we need to do. And this is the exact thing Prabhupada did. This is the exact thing all his disciples did. So by doing that, naturally, things follow you. It comes to us without even hunting for it. So I just feel very strongly this. The reason I came in today was I just thought I want to share this because, you all are doing so much service, slogging like anything. I saw last 2, 3, 4, 5 days, Lal Govinda Prabhu's, I think, a big time service. You all, so many. I mean, like, this is just 5 days. I mean, like, it's months and months. You guys are doing so much. I just come for Prashadam, VIP Prashadam, especially, which makes me guilty. Sometimes what happens, devotees, when they give me VIP Prashadam, I say, no, please don't give me that, man. Give me something, at least give me somewhere else. They feel like, Prabhu, you're so humble, what is the problem there? Saying, come on, it's not humble, man. I feel so guilty. I didn't do anything. And if you just give me VIP, and all these guys slog like anything, and they get some, remaining khichdi, which is scrapping from the pot. Good, man, So, don't take it in a wrong sense when I say don't give me openly. Maybe give it secretly. That's it. But my point is, it's like, you guys are putting so much effort. That's my point. And but if you are able, and in this process, what happens is there are so many hurt feelings going within the circle. You all are doing slogging like so much service, but you're literally killing each other by words, behaviors, and obviously I also part of the game. I also kill many people. That's a different story anyway. But but the point is, there's a lot of hurt, like feeling bad, negative feelings is walking around. And I know some are very difficult to eradicate. So let's not worry that. But I think there are so many easy things which you can eradicate, which is stuff like this, trying to be more open. Don't be too clinged to your whatever condition thinking, just be more open, which means just be conscious, be ready to hear a bit if someone comes and tell, so that you can move on, rather than sit and do a debate in the middle of the road, all this stuff is just going to stop your progress and you're going to go backwards. It's going to cause more confusion in your life than any good. And you're here to serve Krishna, serve devotees, make them happy, but you are doing the other way around, This is like Operation Success Patient Dead story. You know, you may win the argument, but you're dead, man. In the name of Krishna, Krishna has cut your bhakti creeper. Finished. You won the argument, but you are no more devotee because Krishna cut the creeper now. So that's why I'm saying, don't do that mistake. You know, when I say don't do the mistake, we do make mistakes 100%. But when someone is taking the genuine interest on you and tapping your shoulder, just give that few seconds to just give an element of doubt and hear what's coming in there, right? At least consider what's coming in. Chances are it's going to help you, at least to some extent, you know, if you can think. So that you can change the course of action towards something which is more congenial to yourself and others, right? So, because these are all fundamental stuff which is needed for us to work together, number one. Number two is, you know, so please Prabhupada, even before that, please the devotees, Prabhupada, Krishna and all that, okay? So otherwise, you may distribute 1 million books, you may do the biggest successful retreat in the planet, you may get best prasadam, you could have done anything the best. Don't worry. If it's done in a wrong way, Krishna considers no peanuts of what you have done. Okay. So that's why I was saying the other day somewhere. I don't know where it was. I was just saying this thing, I'll finish it up. I think it's 9:40. I don't know what time we finish, but anyway, I'll say this one. You know, I said somewhere the same thing, but it's very obvious, you know, this how Duryodhan and what is this Vidura's wife name? It's very, you know, it just stays in my head. That's why I'm saying Vidura's wife is someone anyway. So this Vidura is there. So you know when Krishna came and Duryodhan wanted Krishna to visit his place, right? He made the biggest feast in the planet. Obviously, he's the king, you know, biggest opulence. He made the biggest feast in the planet so that he can attract him into the Vidurani. Yeah, Vidurani. Okay. So, you know, so that he can be attracted to Duryodhan's palace. And the game is this. Obviously, Duryodhan had a secret, you know, proposal. You know, be a messenger, help us out, we need to win and all that story, right? He had a secret agenda. But he made the biggest offering. Who doesn't, you know, I'm like, there's nothing to doubt. But here on the other side of the city, right, Vidurani, she is there waiting for days and days for Krishna to come. And guess what she gave? The famous what?
Banana.
Banana peel, man, not even banana. Okay. So what happened? She was there, and Krishna obviously rejected Duryodhan, we all know. And then he had headed towards this hut house where, you know, Vidurani, she was in such an ecstasy, she forgot, she put the banana down and gave the peel. And the peel Krishna was eating, and we know the story. He was eating as if that is the most tastiest food in the planet. And then Vidura comes, got to know, and he was chastising her, saying, what's gone in your head? You're giving a peel. You know, then she forgot, you know, because she was in ecstasy. But Krishna said, no, this is the sweetest thing I can ever get. I don't want anything else. And then Duryodhana on the other side made the biggest opulence in the planet. Krishna was like, you know, dumped that in the bin and went the other side, right? Because there was love there. There was a larger element of affection, you know. Same like that, we know this, what's the other person who gave chipped rice?
Sudama.
Vipra Sudama, right? There is another story, right? You know, he came, not give a fresh chipped rice like Paniyati. It was a stale and smelly. No, I'm not saying that's what is mentioned there, you know, because he collected this for many days from various people's house, walked for many days, and by the time he went to the house, it was spoiled. And it was just stuck in the you know, that cloth and all that wasn't really clean. And then he got this opulent welcome from Krishna, and he thought, oh my God, man, this guy is big. And he saw this bag and said, if I give this is the most disgraceful thing I can ever do for him. And he was hiding it because he couldn't compare the opulence and this spoiled chipped rice bag, right? And then obviously Krishna being the Lord, he knew something is in his pocket. So he said, he pulled that, he ate it. the story is big there. He was eating one hand after another. He was so pleased. He said, Sudama said, please, man, don't do this. It's embarrassing. I don't want to give this to you. He snatched and ate the whole thing. So you can see there's a theme here, basically. I just want to show a theme. There's a theme here. Krishna, yes, we give the best offerings we can. That's the game here. And you can see that's what happened, right? With what do you call it? Sudama had nothing. All he could do is the best is beg the cheap price and give. He gave the best. Vidurani, all she had is the best is that banana, but obviously she could have given the banana, but she was in ecstasy. She gave the peel, right? But that's the best she could give in that state of that process. So everyone gave the best there, but it was filled with love in it. So even though on the other side of the country or the city, there was no love there, but the best of all opulence, Krishna was like, don't give don't waste my time, He just went the other side. So that's what I'm saying. You may do the biggest 64, 108 to 100, 500 boga offering. You do all that, no worries. But if all this is going to happen with tainted with all this hurt feelings within devotees, all that kichdi which we do, you can guess what would happen. Right? Krishna is not going to sit and enjoy that, basically, right? It's a lot of blood there, tainted by blood, in other words, for Krishna's eye. It won't work. So that's why I'm saying it's, and you may do the simplest offering without killing anyone. Chances are it could be very pleasing to the Lord, right? So that's the point. It's nothing big, big secret here. We all know this. You all know this. You'd have heard this 100 times. But my point is, it's so difficult to keep it in our head consciously. Contemplate on it, remember that. So do that. Try your level best to keep on remembering. You could do anything you want to make yourself remember. It could be hearing lectures every day, or it could be you can write it anywhere on the notepad and keep it on, stick it on the wall. So when it could be a one sentence thingy where you read it, you remember. So, but it's in your hands to see how you can remind yourself constantly these important things in your life, which going to help you to be a better devotee. So what happens is we don't kind of fall astray, we are able to stick to it whenever the challenging time comes, right? Because Prabhupada said, who is a sadhu? Sadhu, he said, someone who can remain, he asked, he asked, he asked, definition of sadhu, and Prabhupada said, someone who can be sober in a provoking situation. He said, what's the big deal of someone being sober in a happy situation? Anyone will be. So Prabhupada said, being in a provoking situation, someone sober, that guy is a sadhu, So it's very difficult. It's easy for me to tell. It's for all of us, it's difficult when a provoking situation comes. That's why you need someone to remind, if not some way to remind yourself, if not at least keep an open mind or ear. When someone is reminding, you're able to catch it. Hence the reason, before you do any service, could be preaching, could be cooking, could be reading, could be chanting, arati, whatever. Spend this 1 minute, 2 minute, or 3 minute, whatever works for you, to gather your thoughts, bring to the present, set your mood, and then start. Just don't go, switch it on, and do it absent-minded. I wouldn't recommend that. Like, let's say you're chanting. Spend that 1 minute or 2 minutes. Do nothing, man. Just sit down. Do what works for you. Could be read a page. Could be a prayer. Could be, I don't know, just contemplating, what are the things, how do you want to chant? What is the mood you want to be chanting on? So what happens, our mind is splashed all over the place, right, generally. But when you're just doing that 1, 2, 3, 5 minutes of whatever time it needs for you to bring your thoughts together, and then you are embarking on that particular service, it has more chances that you will be more stable-minded, at least for quite a while, because you have already started the business of being focused from the beginning of basically you have set your intention right even before you started the project. When you have not set your intention right and you just jump into the project because the objective is to achieve the goal, 100 books, 16 rounds, full arati. These are the goals, right? 30 minutes, finish Mangalati, Samsandava, everything. Okay, 45 minutes, finish all this. 2 hours, finish all this. That's how we work basically, right? But that's fine. It has to be because we all have limited time. But you not at the cost of forgetting the intention. So that's why kind of insert this 1, 2, 3, 5 minutes or whatever before you start. Set your intention straight. Okay, this is what I want to do. Please, maybe in the form of reading or whatever it works. But you set your intention and then jump into the project. You will be at least some percentage better than where it was before, right? And the more you do, the more you're going to get better. Okay. And why we do that? The more you do this, okay? And let's say you screw up. The chances are very high that when someone taps the folder and shoulder and say, Prabhu, you just need to be mindful of this. Chances are you will listen more because you always set the intention straight from the beginning. So you are kind of open-minded from the beginning, So 9 out of 10 times, or at least 5 out of 10 times, you'll be like, okay, sorry, I know, oh, this is what I was actually thinking. Looks like I forgot. Thanks for reminding. We'll go forward. Right? So this is like a very basic thing which could help. For me, it helps because, like, for example, today I was starting this talk. And I was, we spent this 30 seconds or 1 minute of prayer, Om Ajnanati Mirandasya going to Hare Krishna. During that time, for me, that was setting the intention straight, right? It's not for me, everyone does that. But for me, it's like you say the prayer, while hearing the prayer, you are contemplating on what you are trying to do, the meaning of the prayer, and then you set the intention. And then with that intention, you offer this 1-line prayer saying, please, let me do this so it's useful for your service, and then that intention is straight there. So you got, at least you're starting at the right foot now. Then you start the conversation. So it becomes more easier. Like imagine straight off the bat, I just read and start talking, right? Maybe the greatest lecture in the planet, but my intentions are not straight. I may be doing the greatest lecture in the planet because I want to impress a bunch of people, or maybe I want to come across very scholarly. Maybe, I don't know, whatever could come out, right? Which is not a problem. It's no wrong in those things. But if the intention is not set, which is this is for serving Krishna, then naturally it just becomes a flop show. Basically, no one will be inspired. Forget about no one. Even I won't be inspired. So the point is, it's so important. We ourselves should feel that sense of happiness. Then you can share the same, and that's only possible if you set the intention straight. So try this, right? Try it and see. And do this every day, every time, anything you do. It doesn't need to be devotional service. It could be it could be even before you start your job. It could be even before you have a conversation with your partner, right? This is another very important thing, right? Well, I'm not saying it's difficult to talk with Yamuneshwari, but I'm just saying that any partner of yours, right? It's important. It's important, you just get your brains a bit straight and then you walk inside. I mean, like 100%, you can't do this every time. I don't do it. But, there are certain conversations, deep inside your heart, this is a very important conversation I'm going to have with her. I just want to make it right, because sometimes you just talk, right? Well, you don't have to ask me. I just talk. Okay. You just talk rubbish sometimes. Well, that's, that's no intention on that subject. But there are some important conversation. It could be service, it could be family related, it could be money related, it could be my future, it could be anything, it could be her future, my future, whatever. But you want to make sure it's going straight, it's going right. I'm not screwing this up. So for that, you get this few seconds, few minutes in the beforehand, just get your head straight. You're going, okay, you know what? Let's do this right, and then you go talk. You'll be more composed. Even the other partner screws up. Let's say, since you entered in a composed state, you are able to cool down and then get to the tone in the right angle, right? So all this works. It doesn't need to be Hare Krishnas only. It is just in your day-to-day life, it makes a difference. But for this to happen, you need to be conscious. That's why I'm saying repeatedly, you need to be conscious. If not, you may do things in autopilot mode. which means you are not thinking before acting, which means you're not going to set your intention straight. All this will not happen. So just be conscious of this so that you are able to understand when to switch on and when you are switching off. So you should know when I'm switched off, when I'm switched on. So these things help a lot, especially when dealing with devotees. Okay, so simple straight point. So try to do this and try to bring this on your life. Otherwise, we're just going to be having multiple groups within the same group. We will have an Indian Society of Krishna Consciousness, and within that, well, it's Indian. So we have this society, and then you have a bunch of all small groups, just ching, and this group doesn't talk to that group, that group. And when this group guy come to this group guy to that group, he looks like an alien. He's saying, no one talks to me, Prabhu, no one gives me prasadam, I feel alienated, as if this guy has come from another planet or something, So it's like all this funny stuff happens, but it shouldn't be. It's like, you're a devotee, your devotee has come, let's serve the devotee, it's that kind of thing, So keep it straight like that. And this is 100% paves our way towards being a very, paves our way towards getting blessings of the Lord, the devotees, and especially the love of God concept we are talking about. Okay. So as usual, gone, I don't know, way beyond the time. I don't know what time you guys close, but we have, I just come once in a while, so just bulldoze everything. So here I am, I'm done. So what do you guys do next? Do the final announcement.
Darshan,
Jagannath Swami. Okay, so thank you all anyhow. So we'll all pray to Prabhupada Krishna today, Guru Purnima. So Prabhupada is the founder, Acharya, he's the man. So we just need to, offer our prayers to the heart to Srila Prabhupada, I personally very much, I think, going forward, I don't know, I will do many study class thing. I said, I want to really go into the trend of bringing a lot of Prabhupada into, because for me, that's the foundation, not just me, many devotees. So, that many study classes which we have, I just want to make that into more of a Prabhupada night thing so that we are more talking about Prabhupada. The more we talk about Prabhupada, we understand his mood, we understand his disciples' mood, the more we try to follow his footsteps, right? So that will help us to kind of do something beyond our conditioned nature and all those dirty things. We go above and beyond. Just because for who? For Prabhupada. We don't want to do this for our own self. We just go beyond. We just need a reason. Prabhupada disciples had a reason, right? To go above all the clutters they had due to our family and all that. They pushed and went because of this one man. So similarly, we also need to develop that similar. We all have, but I'm just saying we need to go deeper. The more deeper we go, we will develop this real desire. That I want to follow Prabhupada. I want to please him. Then naturally we'll go above and beyond our differences and conditions and all that. We need a reason why we need to do this. So that's why I'm hopefully we'll dive deep more and more on Prabhupada and his life, so that it's become more gives us a real taste and interest to do things for him. And then we add it to that, whatever you want, Krishna, Mahaprabhu, all that comes after that. Okay, Jai Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Okay, Jagannath Swami ki Jai. Jagannath Swami.
Vivek Prabhu has got any, or Tirthavilas Prabhu has got any announcements?
Announcements.
Vivek Prabhu.
Oh, I forgot. Yeah, okay, final. I'll do this announcement. Purushottam month, right? So Purushottam month is coming from July mid to August mid something. You all know the dates. So we're going to have Purushottam month program, just like Damodar month programs. I don't know if many, have you ever attended Purushottam month programs? If not, don't worry, you will do. So what will happen is, we'll start this Purushottam month program. Materials are there, everything is there. We're going to share it to the leaders. So these Gita Gyan members, these new people, it will be a very good chance to go back to them to do these programs, and it will be a good chance for them to get connected to the devotees and Krishna by doing some puja arati like that. And then even for the devotees, so tomorrow I'm talking with some of our leaders, so they will kind of share the stuff with you. So please, I would say if you have anything cooking in your head in terms of how to get more members in your group, how to make your existing members more fired up, all this stuff, Purushottam month will be a perfect time because it comes only once in 3 years. So it's a very powerful month. I'm sure this conversation will come, you'll know more about it. So that is a major, announcement. So you guys keep in the mind and talk to your leaders when you're thinking about, or when you're talking about anything related to how to increase number of devotees and engage in service and stuff. Purushottam. Hare Krishna. Right.
Thank you, Prabhu. Jagannath Swami ki jai.
I think that's the only announcement there, maybe. It's okay. We'll see Jagannath. So. Can see Jagannath?
Yes, Prabhu, we can see.
Okay. Everyone is sleeping? Why not? It's 10 o'clock.
Shri Jagannath Baladev Subhadra Maharani Sudarshan Chakra ki jai. Jai. Shri Gaurnitai ki jai. Shri Prabhupada ki jai. Namaste Hari Hari.
Hari Bol. Hari Bol.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you,
Hare
Prabhu.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. You have